on, Sports Hit List fans? Michael Sparacino here, alongside the infamous Mike Phillips. Mike, tell them what we have for him today.
We're going to give you a little Stanley Cup recap. We're not happy with our predictions. We're also going to discuss with you some of the expansion draft, who we think might be going to the Golden Knights. And we'll also give you some intake into what we think is going to happen with the Rangers offseason. Are they going to keep shedding contracts? Are they going to add some good players? Are they even going to be contenders? You just got to wait and see.
Okay, well, first off, Penguins in 6. We were both wrong.
Listen, I was right. I said 6 games.
He did. Go back and look at it.
I didn't say which team correctly, but I really thought Nashville was going to do it. But again, it goes back to the officiating. We've spoken offset about this.
Yep.
The officiating towards the end of the series was just awful.
Now, I'm going to say this. Game 5, even though it had no outcome on the game, Penguins won 6-7-0.
Right.
The refs were in their favor that entire game. Now, I just said it. Refs had no outcome on that game because the score was 6-0.
But still, if you looked at when it was 2-2, and that you can go back to my vlog too, I had stated that Nashville looked strong, Pittsburgh looked weak, looked tired, looked injured.
Yeah, I even saw a picture on Instagram. First 4 games of the series, now Nashville was severely outshooting Pittsburgh. Their power play percentage was a good 20% more. And yeah, I mean, the only reason they lost the first 2 games was pretty much because of Pecorino.
Right. And then he shows up. He finally showed up, and I was applauding him. I even applauded the Nashville fans. We both said it. If I could go see any game in the playoffs, besides the Rangers, obviously, I'd go see Nashville. That
He
fan
shoots.
base.
He scores. You suck.
Your fault. Your fault. Your fault. Excellent fan base. Nashville, I give you a round of applause. You guys were great.
That's got to be one of the best chants, like, within the past decade. That
Besides,
Pod
Podfan sucks, but that's a different story.
True.
But yeah, we were wrong about our predictions, but we were right about a good series for the most part. Nashville did make it an interesting series. They made it an exciting series, and we did say that if Rene could show up, it was going to be a series, and it was. We weren't happy with the outcome. We weren't happy with the officiating in Game 5 and 6. You saw Sidney Crosby banging Pecan Subban's head onto the ice continuous amounts of times. Does he get a fine? Absolutely not.
No,
He's the poster child.
He never does.
So you have that happen. You have the disallowed goal. I mean, the endless officiating wrongs.
The disallowed goal in Game 6. After that, I kind of just
gave up.
I didn't necessarily give up, but once that got into the 3rd period that game and it was still scoreless, I just started to have a bad feeling. And then, of course, Penguins win 2-0.
I mean, when they went up 2-0 in the series, I always had an eerie feeling that it was going to be Pittsburgh going. I didn't want to admit it, and I will say the first one, yes, it was in the back of my mind as a Ranger fan. Please don't follow this over and over again and put this on memes that a Ranger fan said that they knew that Penguins were probably going to win, but they were just a very strong team. Now going to, let's end the Stanley Cup. We're out of that now.
Fair enough.
What do you think is going to happen in this expansion draft? It's been getting a little interesting.
First and foremost, goalie is going to be Marc-Andre Fleury.
I saw
With
that.
that being said, Pittsburgh messed up with this one because Fleury waived his no-trade clause back in February.
Right.
They could have easily got a first-round pick out of him.
Of course.
And now you're just going to let him go for nothing?
See, Pittsburgh, and I agree with you, Pittsburgh ruined that play only because, yes, they could have gotten a first-rounder for him, but also you're putting all your eggs in Murray's basket. Now, Murray's coming off, yes, he did play well for most of the playoffs that he ended up playing. He didn't play half the playoffs. He came in, he gave them the spark they needed. He started playing well. But then all of a sudden, when Nashville was coming back and taking all those shots, some of those goals looked like gimme goals where he could have saved them. And you thought, maybe is it rust? Maybe is it because of the injury? You didn't know. And now you're putting all your eggs saying he's your star, no problem. Fleury as a backup would have been a good situation for the Penguins, but they didn't stay with that, and I'm surprised. Now, again, it has not been official that Fleury is going to be the goalie for the Knights, but I will tell you, being a Stanley Cup champ goalie, all signs are pointing that he's going to be there. Another person, if we're staying with Pittsburgh, Hagelin is on that list.
He's
too.
also on the unprotected
He
list.
is on the unprotected
See,
list.
the reason I don't see him going is he's making $4 million, and he's not necessarily a go-to offensive guy.
Okay. Who do you see going besides Fleury? I know you had mentioned a couple of names.
I could definitely see James Neal or Bobby Ryan going.
Which is two strong pickups.
Yeah, because James Neal, 30-goal scorer, can
Right.
still put up a decent amount of points, and he's a veteran presence
And he can
on
put
what
his
could
body.
be a young team.
And he could put his body on the line at any time.
Yeah, and
He
Bobby
has.
Ryan, also another
Oh, yeah.
dependable guy. He's good for at least 25, 30 goals a year. He's in his prime, basically.
Well, yeah, he definitely is. I see all those. If we go to the Rangers for a second, there's been a couple of players that have been named. I don't know if anybody's been looking at the list. If you've been following the list, Jesper Fast is one of them. Oscar Lindberg is another, and Antti Ranta is another one that they've put on the unprotected list.
Don't forget about Michael Grabner.
And Michael Grabner. The move that I would see makes the most sense for the Rangers with the expansion draft would probably be losing Oscar Lindberg. Now, I only say that because out of those four, he's the one that's making a little less than others, and he has more of a valuable presence for that team.
Yep.
Do I agree with the move? Absolutely not. I think he's a young, versatile player.
No, he has top 6 forward potential.
Absolutely. And I
When
think
he's healthy.
Right, when he's healthy. That's going on. You have Grabner. Grabner's played well for us, but he's starting to get over the hill. You have Ranta. Ranta, we're most likely going to trade either way. So he's on the unprotected list, but I don't see him being a Ranger next year. And then you have Fost. Fost is that weird player because he can play well sometimes, and then you're like, he was in the lineup?
Yeah.
He was on the ice? You don't really
Well, don't get me wrong,
recognize him.
Rangers are kind of filled with those players.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can tell them how you feel about that because you've told me a couple of times, and I mean, I saw it on your V-blog, and I would love to hear more about the whole Dan Girardi buyout because I still don't understand it. I still don't
Okay,
understand why
now
they did it.
you knew it was inevitable.
Right.
After Stahl signed his extension, Girardi's came first.
True.
Now, both of those contracts were atrocious. Should have never happened. But I would have gladly re-signed them, just not at the term or the money that they're making.
Right, absolutely not.
So, and you saw this past playoffs, Stahl was just as bad as Holden. Those two were equally the worst two players for our team.
Where was Stoll? Was he on the ice? I didn't see him. I saw a number. I saw his jersey.
I saw a guy.
I saw a guy.
We didn't
I
see
think
Mark Stahl.
Stoll,
Didn't see Mark
you
Stahl.
need to call your credit cards. Someone stole your identity. It was a guy that didn't play hockey because it wasn't you. I don't know where you were, but it wasn't you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, especially after the game-tying goal in Game 2
Right.
against Montreal. I mean, he never recovered from that.
No. And then the defense. I mean, he's supposed to be our star defenseman, and there were people breaking him left and right.
Brady Shea went from AHL guy to all of a sudden he's carrying the defense with Ryan McDonough,
Right.
playing the second line.
Yep.
So, I mean, I have faith that Shea is going to be a Ryan McDonough someday, especially after this season. He put up points almost effortlessly.
It's a big word.
So, hey, when we're in front of the camera, we mumble sometimes.
That's right. Go ahead.
So, I mean, Rangers are going to, I have faith that Jeff Gordon is going to do something good with the team, just like he did last offseason.
Now, what do you think? What type of moves do you think we make?
Stay away from Shattenkirk.
Oh,
Stay away
wait.
from Shattenkirk.
I think I disagree with you, but we're going to have to do that on another segment. But I disagree. I think we can take Shattenkirk. He wants less. Let's keep him.
I mean, yeah, as long as we don't sign him for 6 to 7 years at $6 to $7 million.
That sounds like someone we already signed.
That sounds like a lot of players we already signed. But we'll get to that another time. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on the Sports Hit List. I'm Mike Sparacino. This is Mike Phillips. Catch you later.